All aboard the leadership. Here's our review for calls to action from volunteering. These two sections go together really nicely, so hopefully you've already done these so you can move along. So, why should you get involved in leadership? This is a quote from one of my mentors in life. And I've had a good amount of experience being a leader since I was in grade school all the way up through now. And I've learned a lot. My style's changed. It's been completely different from when I first started leading. And this quote has been really impactful for me because he pulled me aside when I was kind of not really doubting myself, but just needed a little bit of encouragement and to help me get some direction so I could give more direction. And he told me people want and need to be led. And I thought about that in my own life, how we crave direction, we crave purpose. And when there's someone who can provide us with that or help us to find it, it's invaluable to us. Going along with that, everyone can become an effective leader. You don't have to have a particular personality or look or dress a certain way. There are some things that help in general if you're well groomed and you have a decent appearance, but you don't have to be or look a certain way in order to be an effective leader. So you're going to be able to contribute as a leader to the lives of other people and to make lasting connections. Some of these may be with future clinicians. They may be current clinicians. They may be people that you end up doing joint ventures with them later on. The skills you gain in leadership will help you to become a better PT. You think about it, your relationship with the patient, going back to the first bullet point, people want and need to be led. These people come in with injuries, they want you to lead them. They want you to provide them with direction and to give them the motivation and the purpose that they need to get better. Leadership makes you stand out. Again, if you're an applicant that has the minimum amount of hours, you've got a middle of the road GPA, you did 50 percentile on the GRE, everything's just middle of the pack, and then you have another applicant who is middle of the pack, but they were a leader, that automatically sets them apart. And it says a lot that being a leader requires sacrifice. It requires you to, at times, give of yourself in order for a cause that's greater than you. And that is a part of being a physical therapist. That's being altruistic. It's also a great talking point in interviews. In several, actually all three of my interviews, I talked about leadership experiences that I had, and they all went great. There was a lot of banter back and forth between me and the interviewer, and it was a great talking point, and I was able to bring up a lot of my strengths based on real life experiences that I had from my leadership opportunities. So, how to become a leader? Everyone says, I don't know how to do that exactly. So, become more involved and seek leadership opportunities as you're volunteering, as you're involved in extracurricular activities, and with work. If you show that you're engaged and you want to be a part of these things, that is, first and foremost, you need the desire to be a leader, is what's required. And then from there, you can be shaped and molded to become a good leader. So, my story with opportunities that I had to become a leader. I think the stories will help you kind of figure out a general path that you can take, and it'll be more effective than me just rattling off some more bullet points to you. So, the Pre-Physical Therapy Club. This first picture here on the left is of a booth that we ran as the PT and OT club at BYU. And my journey started when I joined the club. And I went to a club meeting, And I said, you know what? I know this is what I want to do. I want to go into physical therapy, and I want to make an impact and be able to learn as much as I can. So I said, I'm going to jump in head first. And I went and I talked to someone who was in the leadership of the club, and I asked, are there opportunities for me to get involved in leadership and to be more involved? And that's where it all started. So that's all you need to do is you just need to go to be an active participant in whatever organization you're in and voice that you want to be involved in leadership. Regardless of whether or not you've had leadership experience, don't be afraid to get in there and to try, because you're probably going to get started. You're going to make some decisions that some of them may be really great, some of them you might need to rethink, but that's okay because that's a part of the process. So anyways, I started out in the pre-PT club, and I was in charge of our shadowing and volunteering and research, helping students be lined up with those different opportunities on campus. And I did everything I could to try to reach out and to start doing my part and helping other students. And I continued to do this, and I showed that I was providing value and helping direct people and give them greater opportunities to get into school. Eventually the opportunity came, and we needed to get a new president of the club. And this wasn't something that I was actively seeking. I thought I didn't have enough time at the current moment. I was getting ready to get married, and I had a really, really heavy course load the next year. So I didn't think it was the best time to do it. Long story short, it kind of came around where I was going to be the only one who was available. And so I said, okay, I guess this is my way of saying, the fate's way of saying, you're going to do this. And so I took it into my own hands, and I was grateful to God for the opportunity to be able to help all these other people. And I went in full force, and we started doing tons of marketing. We started doing everything that we could to add the most value to our club members, and our whole focus became getting them into PT school. That's why we existed. And it was great. We had a lot of really good success. We more than doubled club membership, and we had a lot of great activities that helped people to be able to progress. This next story is home health and hospice. So it mostly started out in a class where I was required to volunteer, and this agency, they pull in students to volunteer and to go to different home health centers and to help these elderly people who live there and to brighten their day, whether it's playing games with them or if they like to be read to, or you can play music, anything like that. I'm not musical. I love playing games, so I kind of went that route. And I was assigned to a facility, and every week for nearly 2 years, I went and I played bingo once a week with these people. And there'd be about 6 or 7 of them that would play, and I would run around and I would give them candy. And after I'd been there for about 6 months, all of a sudden, because I was so consistent, they asked me to be the leader of all of the students who would go to this facility. And I was able to train other students and to help them find projects that they could work on that would be of most benefit. Both of these experiences really shaped me as an applicant and helped me see the value that I can provide. And it all starts with getting involved and being consistent, and then voicing that you would like to be involved in leadership. So those are the steps. Get involved, be consistent, and voice that you want to get involved in leadership. And then opportunities will come to you. So if you're not actively involved in an organization, get involved. Ask the organizational leaders if there are opportunities for you to step into a leadership role, and then lead. Find your own leadership style. Be yourself and lead other people. Because remember, people want to be and need to be led. And you can invite other people to join you and do the same.